So imagine you're a crab just hanging out on the ocean floor, minding your own business, and suddenly you get punched so hard that the water around you literally boils. Not figuratively, the water actually boils. You've just been murdered by something the size of a TV remote. This is the mantis shrimp, and it might be the most absurdly overpowered animal on the entire planet. And trust me, it only gets weirder from here. Let's start with that punch, because it's genuinely one of the most impressive things in nature. The mantis shrimp has what scientists call the most powerful strike in the animal kingdom, pound for pound. When it attacks, its little club-shaped arm accelerates faster than a .22 caliber bullet leaving a gun. We're talking 50 miles per hour in just a few milliseconds. If you blink, you literally miss the entire thing. The punch is so fast and so powerful that it creates these things called cavitation bubbles in the water. Basically, the speed causes an area of super low pressure, and tiny bubbles instantly form. And when those bubbles collapse, they don't just quietly pop. They produce a shock wave, an actual flash of light that you can capture on camera, and heat. How much heat? Try 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. For just a split second, we're talking temperatures as hot as the surface of the sun. From a 4-inch shrimp. So if you're a crab or a snail, and you're unlucky enough to be on the receiving end of this attack, you're getting hit twice. It's like getting sucker punched by the laws of physics. Oh, and these punches are strong enough to crack aquarium glass. There are multiple documented cases of people buying a mantis shrimp without really understanding what they're getting, and then coming home to find their tank completely shattered. They're basically tiny, rainbow-colored psychopaths with weaponized fists. But wait, somehow the punching isn't even the weirdest thing about them. We need to talk about the eyes. Humans have 3 types of color receptors in our eyes. That's what lets us see all the colors we're familiar with. Dogs have 2 types, which is why they see a more limited color range. The mantis shrimp, 16 different types of color receptors. They can see ultraviolet light, which is completely invisible to us. They can see infrared. They can see polarized light. Basically, they're living in a totally different visual reality than we are. There are colors in their world that we don't even have words for, because we literally cannot imagine what they would look like. We just don't have the equipment to understand it. Now, you'd think having 16 types of color receptors would make them absolute masters of color perception, right? You'd think they could distinguish between the tiniest differences in shade with incredible precision. But here's the weird part. When scientists actually tested mantis shrimp, they found out they're kind of terrible at telling similar colors apart, like worse than humans. So what's going on? Scientists think their eyes work more like a barcode scanner at a grocery store than like human vision. Instead of carefully processing and comparing colors, they just instantly recognize a color and move on. It's way faster but less accurate. For an animal that needs to make split-second life or death decisions, speed matters more than precision. Oh, and their eyes can move completely independently of each other, like a chameleon. So they can be looking at 2 totally different things at the same time, processing information in 16 different color channels in each eye, while also calculating the perfect angle for their next devastating strike. It's genuinely unfair. Alright, here's what really keeps marine biologists up at night. We still don't fully understand how the mantis shrimp's club doesn't just explode into pieces every single time it punches something. Think about the forces involved here. If you or I tried to punch something as hard as a mantis shrimp punches relative to our body size, every bone in our hand would instantly shatter into fragments. But mantis shrimp do this thousands and thousands of times throughout their lives, and their clubs stay completely intact. Scientists have discovered that the club is made of one of the toughest biological materials ever found in nature. A 4-inch shrimp is teaching us advanced engineering. The mantis shrimp has been perfecting this design for 400 million years. That's before dinosaurs existed, before trees existed, and we're just now starting to figure out how it actually works. So just to recap, the mantis shrimp is 4 inches long and can punch fast enough to create tiny underwater nuclear explosions. It can see in 16 different color spectrums, including colors that don't exist in our version of reality. It's built from materials that modern science is desperately trying to copy for human use. And it's been doing all of this successfully for 400 million years. And just to make it even better, some species of mantis shrimp are monogamous and mate for life. They find a partner, stick together, and defend their home as a team. Nature is absolutely full of animals that seem physically impossible when you actually look at them closely. The mantis shrimp just happens to be one of the most ridiculous examples. And honestly, the more we learn about them, the weirder they get. If you enjoyed learning about this and you want to discover more creatures that absolutely should not exist, but somehow do, go ahead and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what animal I should cover next, because trust me, there are so many more bizarre examples out there. Thanks for watching.